I have a mishmash of videos, and there is a point to it. They all work together and they all make sense. So just watch all three of them. There's four different clips in this one video. So watch to the end. All right, jump in on the back end and let me know what you think after you watch them.
You are not doing it all. I know, because you made a few breakfasts and you ran a few errands, that it feels like you are. But in fact, you're doing the bare minimum of what I and other women have been asked, no, expected to do around the house for years and years and years. And now I am asking, expecting you to help me with part of it, not all of it.
I talked about this article when it came out in April. I made a video on it where I was diving deeper into these numbers. And we need to continue to talk about this because women's unpaid labor on most fronts, in education, in nursing, in the home, in organizations, we are undervalued and underpaid. And when we do the majority of the unpaid labor, it is definitely undervalued because it does not show up in the finances. So Pew Research put out an article. They put out the numbers. In a growing share of U.S. marriages, husbands and wives earn about the same amount of money. So women and men are earning about the same amount of money, but there is still no equity or very little equity in the home because, okay, it says even when earnings are similar, husbands spend more time on paid work and leisure, while wives devote more time to caregiving and housework. Even as financial contributions have become more equal in marriages, the way couples divide their time between paid work and home life remains unbalanced. Women pick up a heavier load when it comes to household chores and caregiving responsibilities, while men spend more time on work and leisure. They get leisure. Women, most of the time, are spending most of our hours being busy. And this is true in egalitarian marriages where both spouses earn roughly the same amount of money, and in marriages where the wife is the primary earner. The only marriage where husbands devote more time to caregiving than their wives is one in which the wife is the sole breadwinner. That is it. In those marriages, wives and husbands spend roughly the same amount of time per week on household chores. And even in that case, the man who's at home should be spending the majority of the time doing the housework and the caregiving. But it's not, because women's work is typically looked at as women's work to be in the home. And so that is the reason, that is why the child-free movement is blossoming. And that's the reason why the child-free girlies are so loud, because of social media. We can see this. The women are comparing notes globally. We see that we are doing all of this work. And the child-free women, the younger women are like, I'm opting out. I don't want to see that. You are not able to dangle the carrot of marriage and motherhood right now. Getting a Prince Charming is not looking so wonderful because women know that they are going to have to work in this current society, and they're going to come home and have to do 90% of the child rearing and the household work in the organization. And this is not me knocking marriage, because I know people like to come for me personally about marriage. It's me saying that there needs to be more balance in the household between men pulling their weight in the household overall, globally, because this is not just an issue here. I study countries globally. Women are saying the same thing in different cultures, in different class structures, in different countries. They are not being silent about this anymore. Women are talking. We're comparing notes. You guys go ahead, jump in the comments and tell me what you
We have to talk about girl dinner and how it relates to the oppression of straight married women.
This is my meal. I call this girl dinner. Girl dinner. Girl dinner.
This is girl dinner. Girl dinner. Girl dinner. Here's why this matters. When women marry men, they gain about 7 hours of additional daily work, like cooking and cleaning and picking up around the house. compared to single women. This is women without children. So women who marry men gain 7 hours. Men lose an hour of daily work. So if the difference for men is very small, but the difference for women is very big, why?
Girl dinner.
Couple of things. Single men and single women might both be eating girl dinner, but when women marry, they turn into wives, and wives have different expectations than husbands. Women end up cooking more, doing their wifely duties, because they're expected to. Men don't. Another consideration is that men who live at home with women who direct them or who do most of the housework, give them lists, end up having lower standards when they move out on their own. They're fine with the stuff left on the ground or the tidying, and so the women who have higher expectations placed on them end up picking up the slack. Women are often raised to be efficient because they are fully in charge of picking up around the house. They see the inner workings and the way that the gears fit together. So women pick up as they go, whereas men don't always do that. I'm talking broad strokes here, but there is data that suggests that the way that boys are raised and girls are raised within the home and how they take responsibility for tasks ends up bleeding into adulthood. Boys age 15 to 17 have an hour more leisure time compared to girls. While boys are doing things like video gaming, again, this is rooted in data, girls are doing things like running errands, doing housework, and volunteering. Girls are raised with the knowledge that when they become wives, all of the social expectations of being a wife will fall on them, and so they internalize the need to learn those things. Men are not judged the same way that women are when they don't keep a pleasant space. Settling down means something different for husbands and wives. I hate cooking, but I fell into this trap and I tried to learn how. I tried to like it when I became a wife. I feed my kids good food, but I'm a girl dinner girl. I'm a girl dinner wife. And that's okay. Eating pickles and chips for dinner doesn't make me a bad wife.
Hey, y'all, it's Auntie Sheila K. Man, y'all really resonated with that whole girl dinner video. My goodness. So here's a woman who posted a response. Who is it? Trace 79. She says, with the whole women doing a lot of work, she says, facts. I was immediately tasked with taking care of his daughters and running his errands. My life is harder because of him. It took me 25 years plus to figure this out. Nieces, let's talk about this. For those of you all that have not been married, everything that I post these as literally cautionary tales. So let's talk about it. That man that she married already had a daughter. I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption. He knew when he married Miss Tracy, whatever your name is, sis, he knew that he would automatically have built-in childcare, a built-in maid, and free labor because it's what women are supposed to do. We as women by nature are very nurturing. And so even if the child isn't yours, you're going to be put in a mode where you're mothering this child. He knew that. And that's why I tell you nieces, and I implore you nieces, if you are single and if you do not have children, don't that have kids. Leave men that have children alone, because all they're doing is looking for free labor, a surrogate mother to help raise their kids. Leave them alone. Leave that for women that already have kids. Now, if you're a woman that has children, it actually makes sense to date a man or to marry a man that has kids because he understands what it is to be a parent. That is the only time in which I would actually advise that. But I'm talking to my child-free nieces out here. Don't mess with men. Also, we're not getting into the free labor. They know what they're doing. So be strategic. Decide what it is you want in a husband. And y'all, contrary to popular belief, I'm actually not against marriage. I'm against fuckery in marriage and choosing that. Instead, realize that there are multi-gazillions of the most incredible, amazing, loving, kind, evolved, alpha, masculine provider men out there. There are gazillions of them. I know because I've dated tons of them. Trust me. But the problem is, so many of you guys don't know to expect that and don't know to very strategically seek that out. And number three, you don't know how to be the woman that would attract that. So just know that it's possible. But what I want you all to do is just open your eyes to the fuckery dudes that are out there, because there's so many of them. Oh my God, a preponderance of them. When you meet them, leave them alone. So Don't get caught up in free labor. Be very strategic about your marriage choices if you choose to be married, because it can be a really great thing to the right partner. Okay, love y'all.